Top of the day, beautiful people. Hold on. First thing this morning. All right, y'all. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Y'all, guess what came in the mail? Hold on, let me pull this stuff together here. Guess what came in the mail yesterday? Guess what came in the mail yesterday? My Hers book is here. Hold up. I did not realize the pages was going to be as pretty as they were. It's like every single page, not like every single page is like laminated. It's this beautiful color, thick paper. I'm like, okay, this was worth $59. Look, I actually ordered a couple of them. Once Jeremiah saw it, he was like, please get me one. Y'all, it's beautiful. And the author is the 25-year-old. I'm like, bro, you done been up the mountain. You can only get it from Book Baby. Well, not only. If you go to Amazon, this is one of the things I'm just like, I'll bypass Amazon on this one. It only took a few days to get here. I got the regular 2-day shipping. It seemed like it took an extra day, but I'm okay. At least I ain't had to wait 2-3 months like some of them people on Amazon waiting. And some people that order from Amazon, if you read down in the reviews for this in Amazon, some of them complaining that they didn't even get their book, and it's been a minute since they ordered it. I think a couple people got refunds, but with Amazon, you got to make sure you do that in that certain time frame. So if after you decide to go ahead and order from Amazon and you ain't got it in 2 weeks, I'm going to say 2 weeks, 2-3 max, you might as well go on and request a refund or something. Didn't get it, never received it, check one of them boxes or something. But Book Baby is safe. I ordered directly from Book Baby, and all of my copies came in a very short period of time. All right, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. It is May the 6th, 2023, day 37 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is day 1416. And today we're going to be just straight in the Holy Megillah, the secret Nazarite scroll. We start this chapter with Ishshah. This is a really, 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 well, I haven't read it all the way through, but it's a really good book, right? I like the little stories in it from what I've seen so far. So, and that begins on page 229. Hold on. 230, page 230. So, Father, we thank you for those with hearts that love and care for animals, right? We'll just say that. It's kind of bridging from yesterday with the little story about the carpenter bees. Okay, let me set this up, y'all. What I need to get is a desk riser. I got them. I could just order them for myself. That's what I probably do, and use it right here in the morning. He'll be like, you got some more stuff. All right, I think we're good to go now. All right, beautiful people. We're good. All right, everybody here. Dawn, what's good, sis? You excited about this book too? Girl, it's going to be amazing. Mom, shalom, shalom. Audrey, hey, girl, hey. Vinette, greetings. Grand Rising family. Nazarene, Nassim. Tikva, hey, girl, hey. Hey, sis Pam, it's the artist. Hey, girl, hey. Streaming from the private Facebook group, Glory and Praise, Oh Great Spirit. You are streaming from the Facebook private group as well. But that is, I know, just by how you phrased your praise. That is Jerry Kearns. Those are my friends from the UK. Jamia, peace be with you, sister. Yes, boy.
What happened to it?
Well, I dumped it out. I washed the stuff. I'll make some more, Isaiah. Hell, first thing this morning, Mr. Isaiah. Levon, greetings, greetings. Avia coming in from the private Facebook group. Love and peace. Ray, hi. And everybody else here hanging out in the background. Top of the day to you. Joyful Risings. That's definitely my cousin Nikki coming from the private Facebook group. Grand Rising. Peace to all. Shalom. From the Facebook group. That is that's either got to be Nini or Linda. I ain't quite got it down. It might be Linda. Who was that last Facebook user? Grand Rising, peace to all. BC, Brandon Carter, shalom, shalom. Trina, hey, girl, hey. Dragging in, but you made it. Right. Be blessed, just me. Stephen, what's going on, fam? Infinite Rises and everybody else here hanging out in the background. Happy Saturday. All right, y'all, let's get into this. I got a little bit more time. Although I'm still not going to take too much time today because I got to get the rest of my stuff in today. Everything is absolutely due tomorrow. I know this is terrible. I should leave more than one day for my professor to give me some feedback, but it's been one of them terms. I mean, I always say that for every term. I'm like, why did I even decide to go back to school? This is too much. Then everything hits me all over and over again. I'm like, okay, need to work on my time management a little bit better. Greetings, Facebook user. All right, y'all. Here we go. Let me see if I can remove my name banner real quick. Boom, there we go. Okay. All right, y'all. Page 230, the book of Ishshah, A Day in the Way. Chapter 1, Preamble. Behold the sublime beauty of the loving relationship between Ishshah and the creatures of nature. Yea, behold the example of the lady of the forest, she whom the animals loved as their mother. Lo, even the insects and the plants loved Ishshah as mother. The wisest of humankind also embraced the green lady, though the ignorant rejected her. But though the ignorant reject her, the dancing green woman rejects none. That's a nickname, the dancing green woman. You will see. Yea, she of the green robe loves every child of creation as her own. Wherefore it was Ishshah who, after her life as a human, became the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. Yea, consider well her example. For I tell you truly, her example is the path to be walked by all of those of the way. Here follows one day in the life of Ishshah while still she was a human. Yea, behold, one day in the way, a day in the life of Ishshah. Clear eyes will see that in one day Ishshah altered forever the lives of several creatures, and those creatures altered the lives of others. And those ripples continue to land upon the shore of the present, for such is the way. And this one day in the way was for Ishshah, not unusual, for every day she walked the way. Yea, each day she blessed the lives of many, forever altering the lives of some. And it is her wish, yea, even her prayer, that you would join her on the path of blessing. But she loves you regardless, for that is her way. Receive now a day in the way. Chapter 2, Ishshah and the Frog. In the early days of Kush, the frogs did not eat insects. Lo, the frogs ate tiny fruits from a plant with heart-shaped leaves that grew beside ponds. Yea, there were many ponds in Kush and many frogs. But behold, due to the acts of violence of some men, violence began to spread throughout Kush, and many of the animals began to eat each other. And this was when frogs began to eat bugs, all except one frog. It's like that what is that Pixar? I think it's Pixar. Um is it Shark Tales? Is it Shark? I think it's Shark Tales. Maybe it was Finding Nemo. I don't know. The one where they said uh fish are our friends, not food. We had that one shark out of everybody else who were ravenous meat eaters. He would literally get sick, and he did this a couple times when they was trying to force him to eat other fish. He said, I can't do it. I love cartoons. All right. But behold, But behold, due to the acts of violence of some men, violence began to spread throughout Kush, and many of the animals began to eat each other. And this was when frogs began to eat bugs, all except one frog. And this is a story of that frog and the great work given to him by Ishshah, the lady of the forest. Oh, look, I just remember something else that happened yesterday, real quick. It got to do with this, I promise. So we was leaving the movie theater yesterday because we went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. If y'all have not seen, y'all, our whole house are Marvel movie fanatics, right? Like I got the Marvel. Look, I'm about to start collecting Marvel comic books, but we do have a few. But anyway, any special edition, the Time magazines that come out, anything Marvel, we get it. They got the Marvel trading cards and they like little Pokemon book thing, but it's one we'll keep all the Marvel cards. But anyway, I digress. But when we were in there, we went to one of the cinema cafes around here. And I told y'all my husband, the first time it actually, I ain't gonna say dawned on him because I've been living with him forever. And he don't be paying attention to me, right? Not eating meat and stuff. But that one time he actually heard, I think it was Kila that said it when we was doing this live some months back. He heard her say chewing on the backs of animals. Now, a few of us have said that Malachi was the one that first started, if I remember correctly. But the way he heard her say it has not left his head. And I say, nor his heart, because he really do be trying. Like my husband, I love him so much, right? But sometimes he gonna fight to the very end of what he wants to do. Ain't nobody gonna make him do nothing, and it's gonna be his choice, right? So he still be trying to eat meat. But it's funny because yesterday we were sitting in there, he ordered some wings. And he was sitting there, and I was just kind of looking at him out the side of my eye. I don't be making smart comments. Look, you eat what you want to eat. It's got to be your decision, bro. Right? I'm going ahead with my plant vegan burger and fries and stuff. Look, so he was sitting over there, he was like, he was making these faces. He was like picking with it and stuff. And I saw him out the corner of my eye, and he was just like, I'm like, wow, I wonder if they done all the way, So, but anyway, speed all the way up to when we leave. And he's like, you know what? I think I'm about done with chicken too, because all the other stuff he like pushing to the side. He just can't get the thoughts out of his mind about them being him eating animals. It is so funny watching him really just trying to, we'll call it kick against the pricks. I'm like, your body is trying to tell you something, babe. And he's like, listen, he said, I think I'm about done with chicken. He said, maybe I can still stick with fish. He said, I'm gonna keep doing fish. He said, but chicken, I just can't. He said, every time I tried to go bite it, I wanted to throw up. He couldn't, he couldn't get the sight of the chickens being slaughtered out of his head. And I ain't did none of that. Like it's him thinking about the food and all of this, so it's marinating deep down in his shanana, and it's coming up every time he goes to try and consume one of our animal friends here, right? And so that was really funny. And so also another quick story, Isaiah, even though I don't force them, they can still choose to eat when they want to eat. So this day I figure maybe I'll make it just a little bit more known what you're really eating here, right? So there were, I had my plant-based, what was it? I think it was plant-based burgers. Yeah, plant-based burgers. And then my husband had like some turkey burgers, right? So he would go from like beef to turkey. I'm like, well, darn, turkey is worse than beef. Turkey is a vulture. Sometimes I be joking, but sometimes I do, sometimes I just leave it alone. And so Isaiah came down here, and the one that want to fight everybody. He said, Mom, can you make me a burger? I said, sure. I said, which one would you like? We got the plant-based and we got the animal burgers. He said, you should have saw his face. He said, animal burgers? I said, yeah, we got plant-based and we got animal burgers. Which one would you like? He said, what do you mean animal burger? I said, the regular turkey burger right here. He said, no, why is it an animal burger? I said, because turkey is an animal that they had to kill to get its meat. He said, and remember, Isaiah loves animals, but I wasn't trying to scare him, right? I know my methods of teaching my children might be a little unorthodox, but I want them to think about it. Sometimes you just got to break people's state, right? And so I said, but you choose. He said, well, what's the difference? I said, well, the plant-based is healthier, and it didn't come from animal. An animal did not have to sacrifice their life for this. I said, this one had to give it all. Like he literally had to give up his life, and probably not by choice. He was probably forced, right? They probably caught him off guard. And he said, why would people do that? I said, people do anything to fill their bellies. Cause my cow, shalom. Look, and he said, I don't know that I'm hungry. I said, okay, well, let me know. He said, but I am hungry. I said, well, which one do you want? The plant or the animal? He did like he took his hand. He did like this. He said, give me the plant burger. And he walked out the kitchen. I'm like, do I feel bad for doing that? Because he's only 8. But I want him to think, especially he gonna probably be like the zoologist from Jumanji, right? I want him to actually be thinking about it. So, but yeah, I decided to share that when we was talking about this one frog that did eat meat. I thought about these things. So I try not to be harsh. I really don't. I'm just trying to like bring in a story or something just to make them think about this, what they're really consuming. Like, be mindful, like eat on purpose, right? And no better time to start than now when you're younger, so you can grow into it and your bend will be towards righteous things and things that give your body life, right? I just told him the truth. But my husband, watching his face, was like, I can't, I don't know. I can't bear to bite into another piece of chicken. We'll see how it go later on in the week, because he be going back and forth. I'm just like, okay, just it is what it is, bro. It's a process. Everybody got to walk through it. All right, let's go back. Let me just start back at verse 1, because we was on like verse 6. And we're on page 230, chapter 2, Ishshah and the frog. In the early days of Cush, the frogs did not eat insects. Lo, the frogs ate tiny fruits from the plant with heart-shaped leaves that grew beside ponds. Yea, there were many ponds in Cush and many frogs. But behold, due to the acts of violence of some men, violence began to spread throughout Cush, and many of the animals began to eat each other. And this was when frogs began to eat bugs, all except one frog. And this is the story of that frog and the great work given to him by Ishshah, the lady of the forest. Behold, the name of this frog was Ezra, which means help. Interesting name for the frog, huh? Behold, the name of this frog was Ezra, which means help. And Ezra was feeling very sad, for lo, at each pond he visited, he found the same sad thing, frogs eating bugs. Mostly, they ate flying bugs. Yea, they would stick out their long tongues, the same kind of long tongue that Ezra used for picking tiny fruit and catching the flying insects. And then they ate them. And this made Ezra very sad, for he thought it was mean and unfair. Ezra said to himself, these bugs simply want a drink of water from the pond. We have plenty of water to share, and we have plenty of fruit to eat. We have no need to kill our food. How unfair this is for the bugs. Behold, in his search for a pond with frogs who did not kill bugs, Ezra became a traveler. Yea, he journeyed throughout Cush, hopping from pond to pond, hoping to find a pond of peace where frogs and bugs lived in harmony. But try as he did, he never found such a pond. Instead, everywhere he journeyed, he found frogs eating bugs. Then one bright summer morning, when most frogs were sleeping, Ezra hopped over to the pond and saw an interesting thing. He saw a beautiful woman with red hair and green robe sitting beside the pond. But she was not just sitting, she was doing something with her hands. Ezra sat and watched closely. After some time of watching, Ezra realized what the woman was doing. Behold, she was reaching with her hands into the water. She was reaching her hands to the water and rescuing bugs that were drowning. Ezra knew that indeed many bugs drowned each day in that pond. He had often seen their bodies floating atop the water, and lo, sometimes he saw them struggling for survival, moving their arms and legs wildly, trying to get out of the water. Usually, they drowned. He knew that these bugs had simply been trying to get a drink of water, but had fallen into the pond. But what Ezra did not know was that just before his arrival, the beautiful woman had sent forth a prayer for help. Her name was Ishshah, and she was a Nazarene priestess. And she had been on her morning walk when she came upon this pond. Lo, on such a lovely morning by such a lovely pond, Ishshah felt called to sit and meditate. And so she sat beside the pond and began to meditate. But behold, within the silence of her meditation, she heard a tiny voice pleading for help. Not with her physical ears did she hear the voice, but with her spiritual ears. Her eyes were drawn to the pond, and there, upside down in the water, wings flapping wildly, was a honeybee struggling not to drown. I don't know if I seen it. I probably would have grabbed a stick or something. I would have. Within her, Ishshah knew that this was the source of the cry for help. She reached her arm toward the water, and one finger lifted the bee from the pond and sat him on the shore. Thank you, buzzed the bee as he dried himself and flew away. Ishshah sat beside the pond for some time, rescuing other drowning bugs, and then she spoke the following words of prayer. Jah, my God and Goddess transcendent. Elohim, my God and Goddess immanent. I need help. Please, if it is your will, send me a helper who will stay at this pond and rescue these drowning bugs so that when I leave, the bugs will not be without help. After observing a while, Ezra hopped over to the beautiful woman. Yea, he sat down right in front of her and began to speak. For behold, Ezra sensed with himself this woman, unlike most humans. Hold on. For behold, Ezra sensed within himself that this woman, unlike most humans, could understand his language. And he was right, for Ishshah was blessed with a special gift. She could understand the languages of all living things, kind of like Dr. Doolittle, but he only understood animals. She understood all. Yea, even the grass, the trees, and the insects. And she was the best friend of all living things of nature, loving equally, which is why, upon her death, as a human, Ishshah would become the messenger angel of the Mother Earth. Behold, as Ezra spoke to Ishshah, she listened carefully. He told her of his sadness, how he was the only frog left that ate fruit instead of bugs. He told her how sorry he felt for the bugs that were killed and eaten by his fellow frogs. He told her of his endless journey to find a pond of peace where frogs and bugs lived in harmony. Ishshah listened not only to the words he croaked, but also to the unspoken words of his heart. Then lo, Ishshah spoke, saying, your name is Ezra, which means help. And behold, just before you arrived, I sent forth a prayer asking for help. You, dear Ezra, are the answer to my prayer, for I have a great work for you to do, if you accept. Ezra replied, croaking happily, it is a desire of my heart to serve you, my lady. Already my sadness has turned to hope, for I have long desired to help. Tell me, my lady, how can I help? Ishshah replied, behold, you have been eating fruit from the plant with the heart-shaped leaves that grow beside the ponds of Cush. Pick a large leaf from that plant and make it your boat. Yea, float upon the pond and use your long tongue to rescue drowning bugs. If you do this work, your other work will be revealed. Ishshah then baptized Ezra and taught him many things. When she kissed, that's a little bit too far. Ishshah. When she kissed him goodbye, Ezra felt like a true prince. Oh, I wonder where this is where this story came from, right? You remember the prince they had? That was a frog that turned into a real prince after he was kissed by the princess. Interesting. Ishshah then baptized Ezra and taught him many things. When she kissed him goodbye, Ezra felt like a true prince. And lo, Ezra took his duties seriously, for as Ishshah had prophesied, as he performed the work of saving drowning bugs, his other work was revealed. Behold, Ezra realized that he had been wrong to travel from pond to pond, always searching for a pond of peace and always being sad not to find one. He now realized that rather than turn his back on the unpeaceful ponds, he should help at least one pond become peaceful. Oh, that's good. Look, yes and amen. Where did I get the veggie burger? I'm going back. Girl, went to Sam's Club. They got these mushroom burgers that are amazing to me. I just add some jazz on top of it, some seasonings. I use some Saison and some Saison complete and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Yeah, I just put them in the oven. But yeah, they're called, I know this is, I'm sorry, y'all. Dr. Prager or something like that. Oh, these. I can only find them at Sam's Club. Dr. Prager's California Veggie Burger. I left it up long enough so you can screenshot if you want to. It's fine. All right, okay. But they are really good. They are really, really good. Yes and amen. I'm so thankful that Creator doesn't leave us to drown. Nazarene Scene said, I be rescuing bugs and bees from out of the swimming pools while skimming the swimming pools while I'm at work. Oh, friend, yes. Princess and the Frog. Hold on. Just me said, Revelation 16:13. But Ezra is a clean spirit, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Interesting, just me, right? Never thought about it. I can't help it. You love animals. That's amazing. Who was that in the Facebook group? Great Burger. You tasted them? Apparently you tasted them. They are great. Whoever that Facebook user is from the group, Great Burger. I get it from Sam's Club. Okay, let's go back. I'll reread verse 75. Behold, Ezra realized that he had been wrong to travel from pond to pond, always searching for a pond of peace and always being sad not to find one. He now realized that rather than turn his back on the unpeaceful ponds, he should at least help one pond to become peaceful. Think about households, people hopping from job to job, from church to church, click to click. Same principle happening. And so Ezra went about making his own pond more peaceful. But the grass looks greener on the other side. So you get over there and realize that the grass grew as well, and somebody still got to cut it. And it looked like it's going to be you again, right? Marriage to marriage. After I'd say the third marriage, you going on to your fourth, you got to realize the common variable here. It's you, my dear friend. It's you. Look, I'm still growing too, right? Guys, they probably still, at least the flies do around here. I'm like, one got in here yesterday, it's warming up. One got in here, and when I saw the fly, I immediately thought about Ishshah. I'm like, sis, help me be as strong as you, because it's in my house now. So I went to the door. I didn't want to leave it open so more flies could come in, right? So I'm like, you know, you don't seem to be going over there. Maybe if I darken out, see if you darken everything, it heads towards the light, right? So darkening out everything so you can see the light at the window. And I lift up the window over here. So once he got in there, he or she, I don't know, the fly. Once the fly got in the window, I could at least close it and then go on the outside and open the screen so it can get out. Am I doing too much? I'd be feeling convicted now that I'm reading this. I'm thinking I should at least try and save it. Give it your opportunity to get out before I grab my fly swatter or some bug spray, right? Look, even my husband, he's like, man, open the door so the I be telling the stories in here. And so everybody, they start thinking about the stories when they see animals or flies. And if you become a pastor, listen, we tried to warn you, we tried to help you get free, but you ain't listening. So we about to eat and we won't need you hovering around our plates. Right. Look. So, but he got out. Because I tell you, if 2 more minutes had passed and that fly didn't get to that window, it was gonna die. Father, forgive me. I'm still growing. Help us out. Listen. Okay. Hold on. Verse 77 on page 232. And so Ezra went about making excuse me. And so Ezra went about making his own pond more peaceful. He rowed his heart-shaped boat from shore to shore, rescuing drowning bugs. Most of the adult frogs thought he was crazy. Bro, you was floating around here on a lily pad, licking up the flies and letting them go. Bro, this is like a 10-horse meal for us. Let us get on the boat with you, Ezra. We'll help you save the flies. We'll help you save the insects out the pond. Yes. Can we roll? Most of the adult frogs thought he was crazy, but a few of the young frogs were curious about his bug-saving mission and began to gather around him and ask questions. One young frog asked him, Ezra, why do you eat fruit, not bugs? Ezra explained that fruit was the original food of frogs before the fall of man caused violence to spread throughout Kush. And so it was that Ezra the frog became a preacher of the Nazarene way. And though most of the adult frogs thought he was crazy, behold, there was one who thought otherwise. Yea, one beautiful female frog, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, did not think Ezra was crazy. Yea, one beautiful female frog, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, did not think Ezra was crazy. Lo, she thought him fascinating. Her name was Binah, which means understanding, and she became the wife of Ezra. Ezra was now a very happy frog. Chapter 3, Ishshah, the starving man, and the thankful bee. I probably would have died. Tickle, yeah, that's what you do when you come across the guy, the Geico gecko, look out of the mouth of tadpoles. I was absolutely. I'm what do you want to call it? I'm still a sinner in remission. I'm giving up my slaughtering ways. Chapter 3, page 233. Ishshah, the starving man, and the thankful bee. After leaving Ezra the frog to his duties at the pond, Ishshah had continued her daily walk. Soon she came upon a man lying beside the path. Lo, the man seemed to be in pain, so she asked, May I be of help? The man replied, I fell and injured my legs many days ago. Good gracious. Since then, I have been unable to walk. And because I have been unable to walk, I have been unable to obtain food. The pain in my leg is terrible, and I am starving. Can you help? Ishshah examined the man's injured leg and saw that it was dislocated. She could easily heal this and did so, pushing the dislocated leg back into alignment. Behold, the man's pain vanished, and he felt great relief. But the man was still in need of food. Well, shucks, look, here I go thinking about this. Well, if you fast and you ain't been eating, your hunger should have been cut off after day 3, and all of that energy calculated its course towards your leg. Although the energy wouldn't have popped it back in place, that's what Ishshah came in at. But I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much. But technically, that's normally what happens. Hunger is cut off after day 3. And I'm not here giving you medical information. Go talk to your professional doctors. Ishshah examined the man's injured leg and saw that it was dislocated. She could easily heal this and did so, pushing the dislocated leg back into alignment. Behold, the man's pain vanished and he felt great relief. But the man was still in need of food. Excuse me. Ishshah knew that there was no fruit trees in this area, so she kneeled and offered up a prayer. Yea, Ishshah prayed for the food for the hungry man. Lo, Jaja works in mysterious ways, and sometimes our prayers are answered in ways we would never imagine. Behold, Ishshah's prayer was answered, but in a surprising way. Buzzing overhead when she uttered the words of her prayer was a bee. Not just any bee, but the very bee that Ezra had witnessed Ishshah save from the pond. Yea, it was this was the bee that had nearly drowned, and this bee, now flying overhead, heard the words of Ishshah's prayer, and he understood the words. For behold, not only could Ishshah understand the languages of all living things, but all living things could understand her voice. Hearing her prayer, the bee told her, I will bring food. Ishshah could not imagine how such a tiny creature might bring enough food to satisfy a large man, but she had faith in the promise of the bee and waited for his return. Lo, soon the bee returned, and he was not alone. Every bee from his hive was overheard, each carrying a bit of honey. One by one, the bees flew over the open hand of the hungry man, filling his hand with honey. 3 times they filled his hand with honey. After this meal, the man had energy enough to walk the many miles to his home where he had plenty of food. That was amazing, right? Chapter 4, Ishshah, the ant, and the raisin. As the man walked away, Ishshah noticed that he accidentally stepped on an ant. Oh my God. As the man walked away, Ishshah noticed that he accidentally stepped on an ant. And after the man was gone, Ishshah examined the ant. He was not badly injured. His leg was sore, but not broken. Ishshah placed the ant on the palm of her hand and prayed for his healing, and the ant was healed. She put the ant on the ground, and he happily returned to his work. The sun was now high in the sky, and Ishshah perceived it was time for her noon contemplation. For being a Nazarene priestess, she followed the path of the Bahir Shabbatayim. Yea, this was her way. And so she performed her noon peace contemplation and meditated. And after her meditation, she was hungry, for this day she had not yet eaten. Then she saw an amazing thing. Behold, marching towards her on the ground was what looked like a walking raisin. The raisin continued to move toward her, then stopped before her feet. Then lo, Ishshah saw that this was no walking raisin. Rather, it was an ant carrying a raisin. Yea, it was the very ant whose leg she had just healed. I mean, how can you tell for real? The ant, speaking in the manner that ants speak, said, I bring you lunch, my lady. I mean, that's kind of like your child going to try to make you. I mean, I don't know that I would have picked up a raisin from an ant and put it in my mouth, but I'm going to read the story. The ant, speaking in the manner the ants speak, said, I bring you lunch, my lady. He then dropped the raisin at her feet, let alone you take my food and put it on the ground in the dirt. And you want me to probably just take it, kiss it up to God, 3-second rule? No, but it's been carried here by an ant. Maybe I'm a fast till I get to my next destination. The ant, speaking in the manner the ants speak, said, I bring you lunch, my lady. He then dropped the raisin at her feet. Ishshah thanked the ant and then ate the raisin. In truth, as she afterward told the ant, really, Ishshah? In truth, as she afterward told the ant, this was the best meal she had ever eaten. Chapter 5. Well, at least it wasn't a fly bringing her the meal, right? I mean, I'm just Honey Nut Cheerios and California raisins. It is. Look, I get it, darn, but I gotta add some jokes in here. If you think about it, this is like a parable explaining how we can and should help each other. It is. I know, but I be being funny. Okay, chapter 5. Ishshah and the fly. Ishshah continued on her way. Yea, she walked the path until she came to the hut of a man and woman who she knew she was on her way to hell. Why would she eat the raisin off the ground that had just been dropped by the ant? Ishshah continued on her way. Yea, she walked the path until she came to the hut of a man and woman who she often visited. She knew that they was just a bit down the road, right? Look. But hold on, look, I was about to bring up a point too. According to Numbers chapter 6, in the Nazarite vow, we ain't supposed to eat nothing from the grapevine, juicy or dry. And the raisin is a dry grape. But listen though, I had really been thinking about this, and I think I mentioned this before. This whole thing about the grapes and the Nazarites. I'm thinking that was, now that I've studied grapes a little bit, right? And how grapes can heal. I'm just like, okay, so why would like, I can understand drinking the grapes after they fermented, right? Turning into alcohol, into something that, causes the body to get a little, I can see that. But eating it in its perfect state and understanding the makeup of it and what it does for the body, and I'm not here giving medical information, right? Go sit right. I'm glad the medical disclaimer is coming across the bottom of the screen now. This video content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And I cut off the rest of it, but go seek your own professional medical doctors, right? But looking at that and learning about it from a few master herbalists and just looking into the makeup of it and how it heals the body. The book that I mentioned to y'all before is one person who had some issues going on, and different people that had cancer that came to them for some holistic help realized that grapes are a great healer and scrubber and restorer of the body, right? Get that book. I think it's upstairs. No, it's not. I gave it to somebody. But the grape cure, I showed it to y'all a few weeks ago, the last time I talked about it, but you can get it from Amazon. It's a small little pamphlet, right? And it's about 50 something pages, but it's really, really good. And I think there's a PDF. I think there's a PDF for it. Don't quote me. I think there is. But looking at that, and so now I'm like, okay, so how is this? Why was this made a part of the Nazarite vow? And I started thinking, okay, who was really doing this time? It was false gods ruling. So I'm like, is there a mixture of good wisdom from Creator here, or is it just all false? Because why would you? Now I can see not drinking it fermented. We stay away from fermented, right? So they're probably from the Creator. Look, I don't need y'all down there getting drunk, right? So that portion probably came from true Creator, but actually eating it in its best state on how it heals the body, restores the mind, clarity, and everything. And I'm just like, how could that be wrong for a Nazarite, to consume? And so I'm just looking into this, and I'm just thinking it's kind of twisted up a little bit, and it got some stuff added to it. Just like within that vow, there's also the slaughtering of a lamb at the end of your vow, which we know we're not to do. Right. So now that I'm looking at this in a different way, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to test this a little bit, and I'm not sure. I'm like, Father, I'm not sure that this is going to break my vow, but I want to try this. So I decided I'm going to eat some grapes, right? I'm going to stay away for now. I'm going to stay away from the dried and the fermented ones. But just like testing the principles and stuff and help with restoring the body and all of these different things, just like I separated when I'm done, I ain't slaughtering the animal, and I ain't gonna act like I done slaughtered the animal by using some type of substitute or whatever, because it's been all chopped and screwed up, so I'm just separating truth from error, even in the Nazarite vow. And the vow is literally a vow that you take that, I'm in your service to help you and to help my brethren and sisters when it come down to it, right? And so, but all things that pertain to life, from what I understand, is allowed, you know, as you're a Nazarite. So even with that vow, I've been making adjustments to it. So yes, it's called The Great Cure. Excuse me. The Great Cure. Matter of fact, yeah, because I gave my book. Let me just give it to you real quick. Hold on. You can get it from Amazon. I give y'all the link. Make sure you get the right one. If you go to The Great Cure by Johanna Brandt. Yeah, it's $6.99, and they only right now it's only paperback. Okay, so I thought that's why I was like, don't quote me. I wasn't sure if it was hold on, copy link. If it was in PDF, but somebody could make it a PDF. Right. Look, right, Vanette. Listen. That's what I'm thinking. Now I'm looking more into it. Like I'm adjusting my vow as the days go on. I'm like, this grape part has got to be wrong. I can understand the fermentation part, right? But the regular grape in its perfect state, doesn't matter what color it is. I'm thinking listen, from what I read in A Great Cure and other things that I'm understanding, especially if you go on a mono fruit, I'm not going to call it a feast. A fast is when you abstain. Just like we say a water fast. Are we abstaining from water? It really should be a water feast, right? So when you go on a mono fruit feast, meaning you just consuming one type of thing, one type of fruit. If you go on a grapefruit feast, like, because I'm just starting it, right? But I noticed like when you do that with any type of fruit, like the clarity and stuff, and you're not putting all these complex things inside your gut to break down, you're getting all this information from this fruit assimilating through your body, and what it does for your spiritual insight, it is amazing. You can try it with apples. I've heard people say that they did an apple feast for like 30-40 days. And not only did it cleanse and begin to heal, like I said, medical disclaimer, read it going across the bottom of the screen, the different healings that began to take place, right? I wouldn't recommend doing that with grapefruit simply because of the blood pressure and all of that stuff. I don't recommend that. But if you're going to do it, add some oranges to it. Maybe if you're going to do that, maybe one day, I'd say that's it, but especially if you're taking medicine, probably stay away from the grapefruit, because I'm not sure why. Probably the acidic nature of it, which actually in fruits that are acidic, they actually alkalize. If I'm saying it right, they become alkaline within the body. Even though its nature is acidic, when it comes into the body, it makes it alkaline, right? But I agree with with Vanette. She said, I think that was a lie from the pit of hell. Grapes are healing. They absolutely are. Cosma said, dang, this just hit me. The Nazarene vow is the emethakava. Oh, I never thought about that, Cosmo. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and pull that up. Yo, hold on. Sis kind of cured her whole body just off Great Cure diabetes, I think it was. I think I remember her talking about that, but yeah, I think I remember her talking about that. You did it with watermelon and peanuts. Okay. Grapefruit lowers the blood pressure. I've seen, now let me tell you. With me, okay, so remember the last time I took a couple days off because grapefruit is like a mucus buster. Sometime I'll just do a lot of grapefruit. But this last particular time that I did it, because it's like real fast, sometimes I add oranges or lemon or lime to it, just juice it in my my pressure juicer. For my citrus fruits, I noticed that towards the end of the day, because that's for like a couple days, that's all I was consuming was just the grapefruit juice, because I was trying to like really push it out my body. But I began to get lightheaded and dizzy and stuff. I'm like, what in the world? I know I'm not consuming anything, and I couldn't understand why until I think it was Linda. She had checked in on me. Hold it. Oh no, what you trying to get, girl? No, Mama. No, you were trying to subscribe to that. So every month they're gonna hit my card, so absolutely not. No. But she checked on me and she sent me a, she just checking on me or whatever. And she mentioned something about grapefruit because something had, I believe it was one of her friends or family members or whatever. It was like she, driving up the blood pressure. So she just said, just be careful. But when she said it and I thought about what was happening to me, I'm like, oh, snap. And so I stopped with the grapefruit. And I just used oranges and stuff, and it literally corrected itself, But I got some water to kind of help it flush through my system all the way. But that's what it was. It did. It like drove my pressure up. I was getting lightheaded and dizzy. I wasn't consuming anything else, So you gotta be careful with that. Yeah. Especially if you're taking blood pressure meds, doctors will tell you not to eat grapefruit. Like my aunt, one of my aunts, she takes blood pressure meds and they tell her stay away from the grapefruit because it'll clash with it. So that's what I'm saying. I don't really understand why it happens, but don't overindulge on it. I know that they even have like this grapefruit diet or grapefruit feast thing. And I'm just like, okay, I say be careful with that. I wouldn't just go straight grapefruit, although grapefruit is powerful. You just got to be careful with it. You know, people on blood thinners, great people are on blood thinners. Grapefruit are the true blood. I agree with that. Look, Jamia, look, it just made sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. People are on blood thinners. Grapefruit are the true blood thinners. That's why. That's why you're doubling the power of what you're trying to do. That's why the doctors are telling you, medical disclaimer. That's why the doctors are probably telling people not to consume grapefruit while you're on the blood thinners. Wow. Duh. Wow. That makes sense. Thank you, Jamia. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all. But okay. Wow. All right, y'all. So let's go back to this. Oh, this fly. Okay, let's go back to this. Ishshah and the fly, chapter 5. But I gotta look into a couple things. I gotta pull up the Imithakava. Thank you for that, Cosmon. I'm just like, I gotta pull it up. Okay, chapter 5. Ishshah and the fly. Ishshah continued on her way. Yea, she walked the path until she came to the hut of a man and a woman who she often visited. Yea, she had been teaching them of the Nazarene way. This day, Ishshah taught them a new lesson. Behold, as she sat at a table in the home, speaking of the Nazarene way, a bothersome fly darted around the room. Ishshah was not bothered by the fly, but her hosts were, for it kept pestering them. Yea, the pesky fly landed on the man's head, then on his wife's head, then on the table, then on the man's foot. Always the fly escaped just before the man could catch her. Finally, feeling very bothered, the man got a small branch that he often used for swatting flies and tried to kill the fly. Ishshah said, if Sister Fly is bothering you, you need not kill her. I will show you another way. Then behold, Ishshah got up and opened the door of the home. She said, now with your mind, direct Sister Fly out the door. Yea, within your mind, see Sister Fly so depart. The man and his wife began to concentrate, and lo, the fly flew out the door. Sister Fly no longer pestered the people, and yet through the compassion of Ishshah, her life was spared. And that actually works. I think I told y'all this story a couple times now. When I realized this, that's why I opened up the window. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go ahead and get up out of here, fly. I don't know if you sister or brother, sister and a brethren, but you get the opportunity to go. Let's go. But that actually does work. Chapter 6, the fly and the injured man. We're at the bottom of page 234. Perceiving that she had narrowly escaped with her life, Sister Fly felt very happy. She flew a distance from the home, danced in the sky, and said, because I was saved, I feel like saving another. Looking below, she saw her opportunity for a good deed. For behold, she saw a small grass fire starting to spread, and lying in the path of the fire seemingly sound asleep, was a man. She must wake him. She must wake him or he would die. Now the fly did not know, but the man was injured and had been knocked unconscious. The story of the man was as follows. The name of the man was Peter, and he was a lover of nature, caring for animals and trees and all living things. For though he never met Ishshah, he had heard about her stories and had been inspired. Peter was a warrior, for he waged a war against hunters and fishers, but his war was not waged with weapons, but with pranks. For he fought not with spears or arrows, but with tricks. Yea, he would hide animals from hunters and erase their tracks and leave false tracks for the hunters to follow. And he made sounds like animals so that the hunters followed him instead of the animals they hunted. Oh, I know what happened. Bro, you ain't think about this day coming. Hold on. I'm going to have a story for y'all in a second. Let me finish reading this. This is crazy. Hold on. And he made sounds like animals so that the hunters followed him instead of the animals they hunted. And he warned animals of the approach of the hunters, and he disturbed waters just before the arrival of the fishermen so that the fish would flee. Yea, Peter waged a non-violent war, and his enemies were the hunters and fishers. Behold, some hunters thought Peter was a ghost and feared him. Others, having caught a glimpse of him darting between trees, believed him to be half animal and half man, for he appeared to have antlers growing from his head. But in truth, Peter was just a man who loved animals and wore a hat of antlers on his head. Yea, Peter wore a hat of antlers, for he had made a promise to a dying stag. And here is the story of that promise. 3 months earlier, before he had launched his war to defend animals, Peter had been walking in the forest. There he came upon a dying stag. The stag had an arrow in his neck and was bleeding to death. Peter, who had long been a lover of animals and an abstainer from flesh meat, removed the arrow. He began to tend to the wound. Then, lo, the stag spoke to him. The stag said, "It is too late for you to heal me. I am dying. I have only a few breaths left." Peter, amazed that he could understand the words of an animal, replied, "Who did this to you and why?" The stag answered, "Hunters roam the forest. They kill animals for both food and sport. The man who shot me desires my antlers as a trophy. And now, even now, he is following my trail of blood and will find me. He will cut off my head and display my antlers on his wall. You are kind, but it is not too late to save my life." I'm sorry. "You are kind, but it is too late to save my life. For behold, I have lost too much blood. But there is one thing you can do for me if you would." Peter replied, "Tell me what I can do for you, good stag." The stag answered, "Cut off my antlers now before the hunter finds me. He will then have no desire to display my head upon his wall. Lo, I wish not to be so displayed. I want you to keep my antlers as a gift freely given. May they be a blessing to you, good man." Speaking from his heart, Peter replied, "I will do as you speak. Yes, I will make a hat of your antlers, and I will wear them as I oppose the foul deeds of the hunters. Lo, I am only one man, wherefore I cannot protect all animals from hunters, but I will protect as many as I'm able. Yea, I will wage a war against the hunters, though I will use no violence. For behold, violence only begets more violence." The stag said, "You are brave and true. I die proud that such a man will wear my antlers. May my antlers be a sign unto the animal world that you are a friend. Peace be unto you." Then the stag closed his eyes and breathed his last breath. Though his body died, his spirit ascended to El Kush. There he was given a new body, for there are many animals in El Kush, and all are vegetarian, and none hunt or kill. Peter did as he had promised. Using his gardening tool, he cut off the stag's antlers. How big of a gardening tool is you carrying around, which you can saw through antlers? I was trying to think of another word to add in there. Peter did as he had promised. Using his gardening tool, he cut off the stag's antlers. Yea, he bound them to his own head, making them his helmet for the war he would wage. And then he launched his war. Lo, for 3 months he waged his war, playing tricks on hunters, protecting the animals they hunted. But then he was injured and he was knocked unconscious, and that happened as follows. Lo, it was not Peter's method to directly confront hunters, for he carried no weapons and could easily be killed. Wherefore, instead of direct confrontation, he relied on pranks. He hid animals from hunters, erased their tracks, and made false tracks, and he made animal sounds so that the hunters followed him instead of the animals they hunted. And when the hunters slept, he snuck into their camps and broke their weapons. After 3 months of this war, Peter was famous, being hated by the hunters. Some thought him to be a ghost. Others, catching a glimpse of him darting between trees, thought him half man, half animal because of the antlers bound to his head. But one day, Peter had no choice but to directly confront a group of hunters, and they attacked him and knocked him unconscious. And that occurred in the following manner. Hiding behind the bushes, Peter spied a group of hunters. One of them was about to slit the throat of a young lamb. Peter had no time for his usual pranks. He must instantly confront the hunters or the lamb would be dead. Peter shouted, "Stop!" Then he stepped into the open and confronted the men, saying, "Do not harm that lamb." The men mocked Peter and laughed at him, and one of the men took Peter's hat of antlers and threw it to the ground, saying, "So this is the ghost that is half man and half animal? He doesn't look so scared without his foolish hat." While the men took turns punching and kicking Peter, the lamb escaped, running into the forest. Then one of the men took a club and clobbered Peter on the head, knocking him unconscious. The man said, "Light a fire near his body. That way he will burn to death and nobody will know we killed him." Another man lit a fire, then said, "This fire will spread quickly. We must flee or it will burn us." The men ran away. It was then that Sister Fly flew overhead looking for a good deed to do. Remember, she was feeling very happy for Ishshah had saved her life. This happiness made her want to help another. Then she spotted the fire spreading near the sleeping man. Quickly, Sister Fly flew down and landed upon Peter's nose. Lo, she danced upon his nose, purposely tickling him. Peter awoke and Sister Fly flew away. Peter never knew of her good deed. Peter, now awake, noticed the fire. The fire must be extinguished before it spreads, he said to himself. In the distance, Peter saw an elephant with but one tusk. The day before, Peter had saved this elephant from a hunter. The hunter had made the elephant sleep by shooting her with a poisoned arrow, then cut off one tusk. He would have cut off the other tusk and then killed the elephant, except that Peter intervened. When the elephant awoke, he realized that Peter had saved her, and she vowed, "If ever I can be of help to you, call me and I will come." Now, seeing this very same elephant in the distance, Peter called. The elephant, recognizing his voice, ran to Peter. Seeing the fire, the elephant ran to a nearby pond and filled her long trunk with water. Then she sprayed the water on the fire. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Mr. Murphy. Now, seeing this very same elephant in the distance, Peter called. The elephant, recognizing his voice, ran to Peter. Seeing the fire, the elephant ran to the nearby pond and filled her long trunk with water. Then she sprayed that water on the fire. She then called several nearby elephants to come and do likewise. Lo, the elephants came and helped, and the fire was soon extinguished. It might seem that the life of a fly is of little value, yet the saving of the life of a fly by Ishshah led to the saving of the life of Peter by the fly, and then Peter went on to save the lives of countless animals. Such is the way. That was good. See, I listen, I ain't had no bayonet. I was in the Navy. He said, "I'm ex-military, and our bayonets and utility knives could cut through antlers." Yeah, I was on the ship, so I ain't get all that super cool gear that y'all got. Those that go into the field and stuff. If I could have had that walking around the ship, I would have been Gucci. I ain't gonna use it on nothing because I ain't never getting off the ship, right? But although I ain't get the super cool bayonets and all that stuff, I did my TAD. I left my division. I didn't leave. I was just TAD, temporarily assigned duty. Send me to security with the weapons and stuff. So I was down there in dispatch. I got to keep track of all the weapons. I got to look at all the super cool stuff. That's where I was at, right? Yeah, I just remember I forgot to give y'all this link. I copied it. Hold on. I'm about to tell y'all the story too. Let me post this link for this book, The Great Cure. Let me copy it again. Copy. Freeborn, shalom. I am God. The Great Cure. Okay. The Freeborn. Freeborn said, I do get tired of this. What is it? What you say? Rituals, indignation you be on. You know what, Freeborn? You ain't got to hang out with us, fam. Like, seriously. You can, like, not come here. Right. My husband said, kick rocks.
That was real.
All right, y'all. Nobody respond to foolishness, but I did. I wanted to say that. Okay, but there's the link for the Grape Cure, y'all. Y'all can ain't nobody putting you on here. They said put me on. No, we already know you on shenanigans. Why? No. Okay, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Look. All right, hold on.
Why you say good morning to me like we don't sleep in the same bed?
You know what?
Like we sleep in different rooms or something.
No, I was just like, you said good morning, Vietnam.
Oh, I'm just like,
I couldn't think of anything else to say.
I just walked in the door.
I couldn't think of anything else to say at that moment.
Like, good morning.
Look, I'm about to block you, Freeborn. We ain't gonna do this with you in here. All right. But yeah, you can watch in the background. You know, we do what we do here. All right, y'all. Let's see. So there is the link for the Grape Cure. It's not PDF. It's it's not on PDF yet, but it's only like $7. Go ahead to Amazon if you want to get it, or if not, matter of fact, I think somebody reads it on YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, I know it's quite a few people that has actually gotten it, and they're just pretty much telling their testimony on how the grapes actually healed their body. Remember, medical disclaimer: go talk to your professional doctors. But their personal testimonies is it's really insightful, and it's enlightening, and it's really encouraging, especially if you have something going on with you and you can't, afford anything else. You might be able to just go get you some fruit from the grocery store. We know we could get into the talk about the pesticides and not growing in pure soil and all of this stuff, but still it works. Just wash it off real good and get them as fresh and as organic as you possibly can, and you'll be good. It's a process, but make sure you're doing everything that pertains to life. Make sure you're getting enough sunlight. Make sure you're resting. All of those things that are conducive for the healing and restoration of your body. Right? Okay, y'all. We gonna look. We're gonna ignore the look. I got my peepers raising up. Look. Oh, we get no. I shouldn't even say. I started not to say anything, but I just wanted to call it out because I felt deep down in my nah, and that's why I wanted. I don't block nobody, but I felt it. I didn't want to do that today. So Freeborn, you can watch in silence. So just unsubscribe if you probably ain't even subscribe. Period. Anyway, but you can pull those shenanigans on whoever else allow you to do it. Okay, y'all. So let's go back over here. Huh? Right. Oh, so
what I was thinking was, I know you're online. Yeah. The pieces is destroyed. They destroyed.
What they put it? They broke it?
No, they just destroyed looking plants. Man.
Oh, you talking about my plants?
Talking about the ones that we seen yesterday.
Look,
compared to y'all, pieces, it ain't peaceful.
Listen, I didn't destroy it. We didn't know, no, because I was like, what is going on with my peace lilies?
Hold on, how long has it been? I bought them a month ago.
Yeah, like a month. They survived the whole month in here.
And you excited? That was $75 right there, man.
I know. Oh my gosh, we got to get fake plants. I'm still working on my green thumb. No. See what happened? Because that's why I got that stuff. Because when we got these, I don't know, something going on at Lowe's. Because when I looked at seriously, that's why I got the stuff. Lowe's has a fungicide running through their plants. That's what it is.
Oh, you did say something.
That's what it is.
How you know
I went back and I looked at it because I was going to pick up some more. I was like, yo, and it's infectious and it can spread to the other plants. It's a leaf disease. So that's why I got that stuff, So yeah, I got to spray it like a couple times a week just to, so hopefully restore them. So, but yeah.
You about to tell the story? You said, go ahead, tell the story.
Oh, no, I was listening about this guy. Okay, Peter, he was pulling these pranks trying to divert the path of the hunters and the killers, right? Remember who was going to Calvary? I remember the guy Pastor was telling us about that. There was this guy that made his living off of insurance claims and stuff. People would hit him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
This guy, oh my gosh, and this is dangerous. I'm like, bro, you could literally have one. You could have went and got a job somewhere, or you could have, if you needed a high amount of income, you could have just went and developed a skill, and got a position somewhere that paid you what you needed, or you could have just started your own business. He decided to figure out how to get hit by cars without getting hurt too bad or without dying.
Hit in vehicles, not hit like an individual walking down.
Right. So, but he never. I mean, you would have to think about it, because what if I get into an accident bad enough where I die or something, or I really get hurt? But he already wasn't thinking sanely, right? So he had did that a couple times, and believe it or not, went to court, won, and got this little settlement. He had money. So when money started getting low, I guess it's time for another hit and run or something. It's not funny.
It is not funny. You don't do that. I mean, it is fun. Laugh at it. I mean,
it's not funny. But the last time he did it, he didn't really count on actually really getting hurt for real. But he got into a bad accident and he was hurt and he was paralyzed for the rest of his life. And I'm just like, bro, no, I was gonna crack a joke. I'm not gonna do that. I was about to. Now he rolling around here like Superman. You would get it? Oh, I probably should have. How to move the wheelchair around, the thing. Not funny? No, my husband said.
Leave it alone, man. Leave it alone.
Lord, forgive me for being a heathen.
It wasn't even funny, heathen. Yeah, I mean, but
look, seriously, it's not funny. But I'm just like, dang.
But you got people who do, if you're doing shenanigans, like knowingly doing shenanigans.
Right. I'm just like, you got to realize maybe one day or something, it ain't going to turn out the way you planned, because that's wrong. You putting other people's lives in danger and their family. Like, I'm just, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Oh, right. Look, right, Cosmo. Yeah. There you go. Mess around with the bull, you gonna catch them horns. Yeah. And my husband being nice. People talk trash behind the screen and stuff, but let it be face to face. Y'all gonna find out it's a real bull. It ain't smoke and screens here.
You better believe it.
All right, people. All right, so where we at? What time is it? Oh,
it's time.
I think TT texted me the time for the today. You know what, y'all? We're gonna pause right here. Yeah. All right. Husband said. Okay. Trina, look. Trina said I'm hollering over here. You know I'm a fool. Wait, Trina, was you when Trina was there? Do you remember that? Was you there, Trina? Do you remember that when we was going to Calvary? Do you remember Pastor Campbell telling us that story about that dude? Trina went to the same church I was going to, and that particular pastor had, oh my God, he was, from the time we walk in, he was absolute comedian in the pulpit. I really did. Still do really love that church and all of its people, you know. So, but yeah. All right, beautiful people. That's it for today. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Let me get my notebook. All right, so who we went up to? Oh, we didn't even finish the whatchamacallit, but we'll stop right here in the middle of this. Verse 56 and chapter 6. Hold on. All right, beautiful people. 2:30, 2:35. Y'all, it is Saturday, May the 6th, 2023, day 37 of year 5, reading through books, laws, and prophets, and of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is day 1416. Today, we read only in the secret Nazarite scroll, officially called the Holy Megillah, the Nazarene Bible of the Essene Way. And we read a couple chapters in here. We actually, chapter 1, and we went all the way up to chapter 6. But in chapter 6, we paused at verse 56, and that's when I started adding the story. So we'll finish this up. We'll finish this up tomorrow when we come back. Let me see. The book of Ishshah. Actually, we'll probably finish the book of Ishshah tomorrow. There's a couple more chapters in here, and then we'll go into the precepts of Zion. Mr. Murphy, let me end the thing first. All right, beautiful people. So, Father, we thank you for a community that got your back. Y'all the real MVPs. I love y'all. Right? All right, y'all. Mr. Murphy, hey, you want to say hey to the people?
No, man.
You know? Okay, but you got my back though, right?
All the way back. Yeah.
All the way
Front, back, side to side.
Hey.
Just like that 65 out there. Front, back, side to side. I got it.
They don't want none of this. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all. Let me get my mouse over here being silly. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Trina, you don't remember you backslid a lot. Trina said she don't remember she backslid a lot.
Oh, girl.
All right, y'all. All right. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. Bright and early. 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold. I've been far away. I'm now.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the crazy one cosign.
What's happening? This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. This is.
Dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the crazy one cosign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this material universe is all real?
I don't need gravity.
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity. I just need gold. I'm a spyline. I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here. I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink. I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Who are you in this vast multiverse?
I don't need gravity, I just need rope. I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.